Yes. So today we'll be dealing with the 5 September 2016 newspaper, and the very first article on the main paper is this one. Just hold on for a second. Yeah. Now a saint, always a mother. It is because of Mother Teresa that the Mother Teresa is a personification of maternal love and a powerful advocate for the poor. And Pope of the Vatican City said that mother as a witness to God's closeness to the poorest of the poor. What it meant is that they have been given sainthood at this point of time this year, but from her birth till her God's grace, she had been mother for all the poor and given her maternal love to everyone, which comes in her personification. And then we'll move to next article. So Justice Chilameshwar said that the NJAC case, National Judicial Appointment Commission, that it should be having much more transparency, and we should have been an objective approach for the judicial appointments rather than being an impasse between government, we can say executive, and judiciary. So he propagates the idea that it should have transparency, and the article should have been to the open debate on public debate should be held rather than to have a fight on this topic between executive and judiciary. And same had been in editorial from dissent to disapproval that the NJAC should not have been, if it doesn't have been restored, then the collegium system should have been much more transparency in judicial appointments rather than facing consequences like justice delayed is being justice denied. It is having huge impact, as had been one data said that there are 3 crore cases are pending in judicial courts on different levels, that is high court or either of supreme court. So capacity building of the judges and various posts which are vacant for the judges should be filled as soon as possible, so that the pending cases should be approved as soon as possible, given judgments which are very much required. And the third is regarding geopolitics, that is like the Baloch leader, who is basically the leader of the Baloch Republican Party, is seeking for Indian ID, as it is in context of Mr. Modi's uh, you can say sayings at Red Fort, that regarding Balochistan and Pak occupied Kashmir and Gilgit and Baltistan, the various atrocities, human rights violations have been happened by Pakistan. So it is, you can see this article in this context. Then another article, basically it's on Delhi perspective, but we can seek some of the recommendations and some of the problems which have been happened regarding the, you can say, traffic jams and water logging problems in Delhi. If we see this in the international or sorry national context, then these problems act in each and every part of the country, like encroachment of drains, people having their homes or constructing something where the drains path is relying, then mixing of sewage and rainwater, there is no proper distinction or no proper paths defined, dumping of solid waste wherever we want to, means it got inculcated in each and every citizen of India that wherever they see that there is some kind of trash is there, and they dump their waste over there. So it's a big issue, and we need to remove from self, then we have to help others and create awareness for this. And then increasing concretization, it means there is no space for, you can say, drainage of water or seeping of the water inside the earth. So it's a big issue, and we have to create an awareness, and we have to inculcate these things that we should not do these things whenever we got an opportunity to do. Then Punjab related, that Aam Aadmi Party appoints Gurpreet Singh Kogi as Punjab convener. The main contradiction or controversy is that he had just joined the party in February, and after 7 months he got this post. So basic contradiction is that he doesn't have any political background. So that the author had been saying. Now is the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan scenario and the Prohibition of Manual Scavenging Act and the Rehabilitation Act 2013. The main or the central idea in this article is that manual scavenging is prohibited, but the manual scavengers are still working in the core of the government areas, that is railways and defense. So the, you can say, the process is like railways, then contractors, and contractors having these people working as a manual scavengers in railways and in the core sectors of railways and defense for cleanliness. They had been set as the foot workers or foot soldiers for cleanliness, as the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan had been seen. So the spy Karamcharis are the foot soldiers of the Indian Railways massive cleanliness drive of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Even Parliament has banned the manual scavenging through Prohibition of Employment and Manual Scavengers and their Rehabilitation Act 2013. In spite of this, government departments like railways are the major employers of them. So it is the time to rehabilitate them. And the next article is merely a logistics pact. So here M.K. Narayanan said that logistics and memorandum of agreement is basically a deepening of India-US relationship. It is not. It should not be seen as the India is getting close to the US, but as China is seeing in his own context that India is getting close to US. And even Russia ASEAN agreement, and recently it had been happened, the Russia ASEAN, and Russia is getting close to China, and Russia is foraying in FIPIC countries and Pacific countries, and even Philippines is getting close to China with respect to the South China Sea dispute. But as we have to see this act, logistic exchange memorandum of agreement was signed between India and USA. It is one of the foundational, India and USA have signed foundational agreement, and the other two being is SISMOA and BICA. SISMOA means communication and interoperability and security memorandum of agreement, and BICA is like basic exchange and cooperation agreement. The analysis of these agreements is like that logistic exchange memorandum of agreement should not be seen as containment of China. It's not its primary objective. And the USA declaration of India as a major defense partner, increased strategic cooperation, can convey an impression that India is a major non-NATO ally. China is conceiving it from the prism of its own, and the global politics are fact changing. Russia and China moving close to each other economically and strategically on the issues of South China Sea, deployment of USA missile defense systems in Asia. Russia is seeking to reinforce its strategic ties with Southeast Asian countries and are looking forward for strategic partnership for mutual benefit. Russia is carving out a sphere of influence in Eurasia, and India is not a part of these plans. It is being conceived that India is moved too close to US. So it's a geopolitics scenario. USA history of alignments with other countries is concerned. It is a practitioner of, basically US is a practitioner of real politics. They create a geopolitics environment as per their own requirements. But India, in this context, shall make every effort to maintain its strategic autonomy. So basically, important events this year in India-US relations are: India-US entered into a defense cooperation in 2005, and it is renewed after every 5 years. So 2005, 2010, and 2015. Next steps in, and next would be 2020. And next steps in strategic partnership is signed between India and China when Clinton was the Secretary of the State. So at that time, strategic partnership have been signed between India and Pakistan, India and US, and then India is declared as a major defense partner. And the next article, it's a very good article, the gap between rich and poor states, and very hot topic that India is the only large country that is experiencing an economic diverging among its states. So the author said that in US the economic gap between two countries, if we see, that is, it is double only, but in India it is four times. And in this context, the real freedom lies in economic freedom, had been said by Ms. Jayalalitha, and she is vocal in demanding for greater fiscal powers to the state. These should be seen. This should not be seen that the politics is diverging these things, or different different kind of devolutions, or one size fits all policy should not be there. It's like, it should be seen as India maturing as a nation with diversity and as a democracy. India is a country with largest economic diversity in the world. The gap between the richest and the poorest states in India is four times and is highest in the world. These economic disparities among the states is widening only after the economic reforms. Means from 1991, the LPG reform, the liberalization, privatization, and globalization. The economic outperformance of some of the states is due to an interplay of politics, leadership, policies, and human capital. So one size fits all approach of, you can say, central government may not be appropriate. It should be given as the different disparities of the states, and according to that percentage should be devolved. Not like that as the 14th Finance Commission had been given that from 32 to 42% the devolution of the proceeds should be given. So this had been the context of rich and poor states article. And the most hot topic this month is G20 summit. The major head of the states are getting into this, and various issues have been arising. But basically, the G20 leaders of the G20 opinioned about that global economy is being threatened by rising protectionism that is internally being supported by China but not vocally, from that is risks from highly leveraged financial markets. They showed a strong solidarity for free trade and globalization. But according to Chinese President Xi Jinping, growth drivers facilitated through technology and are gradually fading, and a new round of industrial and technological revolution should be there. Monetary, fiscal, and structural reforms should be used to achieve solid and sustainable economic growth. Hope this will happen. And the next thing is that RBI's new Governor Mr. Urjit Patel will get sworn in and will take charge on Tuesday. So these are the various articles of today. Thank you very much.